Hello, my name's Maria and you're watching The Richest and Simple Living, and I decided to come on today and do a vlog. If you wonder why I said that, if you're not seeing yesterday's vlog, it's because I said at the end I might not see you till Friday unless I decided to come on with something, but it'd be more than likely Friday when I go shopping. But no, I decided to come on with a vlog today, and it was because I was sat thinking and making notes, as I do, about saving money and cost effective things, and things we want to plan maybe for next year. And it made me think, oh, all these ideas I keep having about saving money and the things we do, I never really talk a lot about them. I sort of go around them sort of thing, or mention the odd thing what we've been doing. So I thought today I might just do a few things, pointers or whatever whatever you'd call it, what we've been doing to save money. So tips, maybe ideas, that kind of thing. So some of the things we've been doing. So I've done a little list out, done a little less, I've got loads of lists, but I've done a few lists out, some of the things that budget ideas that when we started having to budget, where we've saved money and how we budgeted. Because before I needed to budget, I used to shop anywhere, buy anything. If I like things, I'd just buy them and it never bothered me. I didn't really think about it. And I'd end up with loads and loads of stuff. So some of you know that I've been selling things that I don't want, and that's why, because I just bought loads and loads of stuff that I didn't want, and it's just a lot of rubbish, really. Well, it's not rubbish, but do you know what I mean? It's stuff I don't want, and I should never have bought it, that kind of thing. I'm going to try and wriggle around a bit because the light is playing up today. The last couple of days we've been flashing the light, that is. And I think it's because the seasons are changing and the weather, so I might have to bring the artificial light out of it. I'm trying not to move, but I've got this terrible habit of talking with my hands. Anyway, you might have to put up with me flashing. To get onto the points that saving money, budget ideas, things that we use, things that when we started tightening a belt up, we started to think about. And the first one was where we shopped, like changing our shop. Well, we didn't totally go away from the shop, but we did change shop. See, I never used to shop in Aldi. I always shopped in Tesco. Tesco was my shop. I like Tesco. Well, I still like Tesco, but I can't remember why I started shopping in Aldi. Somebody must have said to me, you want to try Aldi's? And I remember thinking, oh no, it's going to be cheap, nasty stuff in there. Because, I had the same thing about Poundland. When I first went to Poundland, I would never go into Poundlands. And Dean used to like going into Poundlands, and everybody was going into Poundland. And I, oh no, I'm not going there. All these Pound items are going to be cheap plastic things, was my idea of it. And so I wouldn't go in Poundland. So this is how bad it was. I would be going into other shops spending more money, and rather than look where it was cheaper, because it didn't matter to me. So I always went to Tesco. And I think one of the things with Tesco as well, my mum always shopped in Tesco, and at one time, like, Tesco was the sort of go-to shop. There's a fly bothering me. And so we'd always go to Tesco. Now, Tesco's good. There are good things for Tesco because they do have the club card deals and you do get your points. So there's certainly nothing wrong with shopping in Tesco's, and I still love Tesco's. But I think when it comes to shopping, what we had to do was say, right, we're going to have a look around where it is cheaper. And I remember when I went in Aldi, and it seemed so alien to me, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, don't know what that is, I don't know what it's going to taste like. And when I first went in, they weren't doing as many brands as what they are now. But now there's a lot more stuff in there, and a lot more stuff you recognise as well. So I was like, oh, I don't know about this. So I went in reluctantly, and we got some things, and over time discovered which I liked and which I didn't like. Because, well, with any shop, I suppose, if you buy their own brands, then you're not always going to like them. Then other times they're better than actual branded things. So we went in Aldi, and it did work out cheaper. It's not so cheap these days, but it is still cheaper than if I was to go and buy what I normally buy, the things you see me get. If I was to go in Tesco or somewhere like that for them, it would be quite expensive. Now, I've seen that, I might have mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, that I've seen on the news that Lidl has overtaken Aldi as one of the cheaper shops for a basket full of groceries. Now, I've not tried Lidl's. There is one right near to where we shop, and I keep saying I'm going to go in, but it puts me off because this is where I was the first time, you see. Puts me off because I think I don't know what anything is, I don't know where anything is, I don't know if the products will taste the same and find what I want. Because once I did try it, or years ago, I did try Lidl's, and I couldn't find anything what I wanted, and it put me off. But I'm thinking maybe if I just went in and got a little bit of things that I know I need and will use, then we can see. But yeah, there's probably not a great deal of price difference. But even if you're not changing supermarkets, then always look for the offers and things like that. And they do a lot of yellow sticker things as well. I think they're different colours in different shops, but I'm thinking of like Tesco. But and as you know, in Aldi as well, Dean's always looking for his 30 and 50% off items as well. So yeah, the first thing to do if you need to cut back, what we did was look at where we were shopping and see if we could find somewhere cheaper. You know, even if you're going between a couple of shops, because if you go shopping in a town, there's often quite a lot of supermarkets very close together. So you get the luxury of sort of going into different ones. And if you know what's cheaper in one place and it's nicer and better value, then you can go and get that, and then another place something else. No, not a lot of people don't like going here and going there. But, you know, if you're having to save money, then that's not such a bad thing, going in and going there. And I love shopping, so I don't mind getting in different shops if I can just have the money to pick up what I like rather than I'm on a strict budget that week. But yeah, looking at where you shop first of all is a good thing. Another one, second one, is like planning your menu. Now, I've always done that anyway. I've always done menus because when my other children were small, there was 5 of them, and then me and Dean, so there was 7 of us all together. We had to do menus because quite a lot of times we were on tight budgets then, and so we had to do, well, I did menus. I always worked out a month's menu. I'd go from a fortnight to a month, it all depended, and stick to that. But yeah, and we worked out the cheapest shops, so we were different freezer shops. So I'd break the list down, so there'd be like the supermarket bits, and then there'd be a freezer shop bit. I mean, freezer shops do a lot more freezer stuff now, but when I was first married, they didn't do as much as what they do now. So I'd go into a freezer shop and I could get lots of freezer bargains. So yeah, even now though, I write menus, and I need to do them a bit more better than I do now. I just jot a few things down for the week. It's not always the healthiest or the best stuff, but I do need to work it out better. So that's something I want to work on as well, is my menus. And I've got the menu books. I think I've showed them you before, menu planners, where you write down each day what you're going to have. Then I've got like a booklet that covers a whole year, and I could do with then filling that in totally, and I haven't got to think about what I'm having. I can just open the book on the day and that's what we're having, and where to buy it from with the shopping list and everything. Although that will change because obviously prices change, but that's the thing to keep an eye on as well, what shops, what prices are, what's on offer and all that business. So having a menu gives you an idea of what you're going to buy. And then of course from that menu, your third point will be to write a shopping list. It's terrible to go to the shops if you haven't got a list, only an idea in your mind, because 2 reasons. One, you often forget something or more than one thing. And secondly, you'll buy more anyway. Well, you could do that anyway, even when you've got a shopping list. But if you've got a list, you've got your budget, what you need that day, that week, then you've got a list. You've likely worked out roughly how much it's going to cost, because you've started picking your shops where you know things are cheaper. And now with a lot of apps online, you can have a look at the prices, so you can price match between different shops. You can build your shopping list then where it's cheaper, and you know what budget you've got your list, and away you go. You're not forgetting things, so you've got to nip to a local shop and pick up the thing you forgot, which then costs you nearly twice as much because you've gone to a small corner shop or something, you know. So it's good to have your list. So write your menu, do your list, and know where your shops are. So another thing, and you've seen me doing it lately, I've been talking a lot about it lately, is emptying your freezers and your cupboards, because you do tend to buy a few extra bits sometimes, or you don't use everything that you've bought, so you do get a little stockpiling up. So it's good every so often to say, right, I'm going to shop out of my freezer and my cupboards this week and use what I've got. So check your cupboards, check your freezer, see what you got, and sort of do your menu that week from that. And it saves a lot of money. And the money that you save, you could put to something else that perhaps you need, or put it into, a lot of people do all this cash stuffing. So if you do something like that, you could pop it into one of them. It's like having envelopes for different things that they save up for. So if you do something like that, you could stuff that extra cash into there that you would have used for shopping. So, or if there's something you absolutely need, then the money from that will buy it. It could be an appliance, it could be anything like that, or an unexpected bill. But you've got that money then, because rather than just spend it and waste it, then you can. I forgot what I was saying then. My son just come barging in, wants to book his Christmas dinner here. Perhaps I should have charged him, because I think, talking of saving money and budgeting. But yeah, I was saying about saving some money, like, from when you're shopping at your cupboards and your freezers, and that money you could put by for something else. Another thing, like if you go out, or if you work and you have lunch at work, a lot of people buy lunches out. You can save money by taking your own lunches with you, making your own sandwiches. We've always done that, always packed our picnic, and they always laugh at me, because even now they say, how much food have you got? Have you got your buffet with you? Because I love loads. I used to do a bread bag, so you'd empty your bread bag and use all the bread in it to make loads of sandwiches, and put it back into the bread bag and tie it up, and they'd have a bread bag full of sandwiches. And if they wanted a different assortment, I'd have another bread bag, so I'd have 2 bread bags, all the sandwiches. But that was when the children were small. I wouldn't do that now, because there'd be nobody to eat it all. But yeah, I used to do all that, and then take a pack of crisps and chocolate bars, or I'd make cake. I used to make a lot of homemade cakes and take cake, that kind of thing, to save money. Even jellies. I used to make jellies and rice puddings, and we'd take them, because you used to get the little Tupperware plastic pots with the snap-on lids, and they were only about so deep and so round, and I used to take them and fill them, make jellies the night before and put them in the fridge, and then next morning snap the lids on and you got them. Or rice pudding, homemade rice pudding, and you snap your lid on, put it in your bag, you've got it, just remember your spoons. But yeah, we used to do that, and cake and the sandwiches, and make all our own. I mean, we don't so much now, because we don't really take picnics out now. But a downfall is, now when we do go out, we always treat ourselves to a coffee. So that's something we need to work on. Although we don't go out very often, so it is a treat when we do. But, if push comes to shove, those coffees have to go. But yeah, that's a good thing. Always sort of pack your own things. Like if you go to work, pack your own lunch, take your own packed lunch with you. Because once you go out into all these coffee shops and that, you're buying your sandwiches or your pastries, and then you're having coffee, and it does work out really expensive. Even if you've got a card for that shop you go in, and you save points or goes towards things, it's still expensive in the long run. It still does cost money. So yeah, packing your own sandwiches or making your own jellies and rice puddings to take with you. So another thing I did was bananas and custard as well. I used to make them, and when they were cold and set, and snap the lid on, and away they'd go. It was great. Much nicer than the shops as well. And you know what's gone in them. So yeah. Another thing that we're doing a lot at the moment is the electric. Now, we had a smart meter fitted. I think most people around have them now, so we had one of them fitted, and we're on a pay-as-you-go system, because when we moved in this house it was on a pay-as-you-go, and we just always kept it that way because I could always monitor it, and I quite like that idea, so I've always done it that way. So when they changed it to a smart meter, he said, do you want to keep it as pay-as-you-go? I said, yeah, that's what I'm used to, and I can monitor it. So that's what I do, I can monitor what I put in there. And so I notice more now, it's a smart meter as well, that when you use more electric and everything, what uses more. So some of the things that we do now, we don't put the lights on. The nights are getting darker, but if you've got the telly on, there's enough light from that. I mean, the way our rooms are situated anyway, yours might be different, I don't know, but maybe put a little lamp on would be better than a light. Lights don't burn a lot now with all these efficiency lighting, but you know, if you've got them on in every room and you've got somebody in every room, it soon burns. So it's a good idea to try and switch off. Always remember to switch lights off. It reminds me of my dad. My dad was always saying about turning off the lights and shutting doors. Were you born in a barn? He used to say. To shut the doors and turn the lights off. But I find myself now doing it. In fact, last night I came through and the kitchen light was on, and I was like, who's left the kitchen light on? No one's in there. Turn it off. There's enough light from the telly. So I turned it off. And I think now we're going into winter, having monitored all the electric over summer through this smart meter. Now we're going into winter. I want to try and keep the prices down as much as I can. So I've been monitoring it. And another thing with the washing machine as well. Now, I've always put the washing machine on a 45 cycle. Everybody seems to put it on a 45 cycle. But I'm saying, why are we putting it on a 45 cycle? Other than if they're really grimy work clothes, then they don't need to, because clothes, we change them every day. We put fresh clothes on every day. So why are we putting them on a 45 cycle? Because they're not really grimy. We're just freshening our clothes. So why don't we just put them on the 30 wash, which is just half an hour, a quicker wash? So we're saving that 15 minutes then on every cycle we do. Other than the work clothes, which do get grimy, then yes, they can go on a fuller wash. But we turn the washing machine down the amount of time. But then it makes you think, well, do you need to change your clothes every day? Because I remember as a child, we didn't do that. We had a set of clothes for school, a set of clothes for playing when we came home from school, and a set of best clothes. We didn't need to keep washing them every single day, other than underwear and probably socks. They're the only things that went in the wash every day. But like our outer stuff, unless it got really filthy, then it didn't get washed every day. So, you know, that's something I'm going to keep an eye on as well, the washing machine, and monitor that. We did get rid of the tumble dryer last year as well. So, well, it broke down, and we said, right, we're not going to have another one, because we can put it on the line or we can put it on a clothes horse. We don't need to have a tumble dryer, and that does burn an awful lot of electricity. So that's something else as well. And the kettle that we had, although we had it for the reasons of Dean's arthritis, that boils very quickly. And I noticed that on the smart meter, the red light comes on, and that tells you when it's burning its fullest. And because that kettle does it quite quick, it doesn't stay on for long. Whereas if, when we had the other kettle, it took a while to heat up, and your red light would be on it for longer. So yeah, that's something else as well. All your appliances, keeping an eye on all your appliances, and you know, switching lights off and things like that. And the same, like, well, not everybody has immersion heaters now, but we've got the old-fashioned immersion heaters to heat the water up. You know, we got happy to leaving it on all the time, but you turn it off and just have it on a couple of hours in the morning, a couple of hours in the evening. You know, you're saving money that way. That's plenty. So that's another thing that we do. And another one, showering. Now the shower, I notice, uses the electric as well. That uses it quite a bit, and the red light comes straight on, and it does use it quite a bit on there, because you can monitor the money, the coinage going up on it, and so that uses quite a bit. But I think it's a case of just going in and coming out when you need to. But like some of our lads, they go in and they're in their ages, and even like me and Dean go, what on earth are they in the shower for so long for, you know? They've only got to go in and have a wash and come out. So it's not like being a woman where you shave all your arms and legs, and you know, you're doing all your hair and you're putting all of your conditioner and everything. Although having said that, now I've started washing my hair separate at the sink with a jug of hot water, so to save time in the shower, and that's a cheaper way of doing it. I do that if I've not gone in the shower and I need to wash my hair quickly and I'm not going in the shower till later, then I'll do that. And do you need a shower every day? When we were kids, we had a bath once a week. Unless we fell in a muddy puddle, well, we had a bath once a week. So do you really need to shower every day? I mean, that's dependent on sort of what jobs you do and things like that. But if you're not doing a great deal, if it's not a really hot, sweaty day, do you need to do it every day? Could you do it every other day and save money on the shower? But definitely monitoring the amount of time that, going in the shower. So I try and go in as quick as possible and out as quick as possible, and making sure I switch electric cord off as well on the shower. So all these little things don't sound a lot, but they do soon mount up, because you soon, burn through electricity and all the different things you have on. And I've been looking at these, they're like little solar packs. I've seen them on Amazon, little solar packs. And you can charge small gadgets like your phone and that. You can have them for camping and charge your phones and that up. Well, we do put an awful lot of appliances on to charge up. So maybe it would be a good idea to invest in one of them long run, and it perhaps save electric long run if we can use the little solar pack and do that. So that's something I was thinking about. Whether they work in winter time, I don't know, when you don't get so much sun. If you've got a very light day, it might be all right, but if you've got a dark, miserable day and it's rained all day, I don't think then it would. I don't really know anybody who's used one to tell me whether they're any good or not, really. Not who would have used them long term, perhaps when they've gone camping and that, but somebody who'd have used them long term for such purpose. But this is worth looking into. It is something worth having a look at and checking out. So, yeah. Another thing, not so much now, but we're coming up to the time of year now where we're thinking about it, is we used to put a curtain on our front door. Our front door lets a lot of draft in it through the keyhole, through the letterbox, and it feels really drafty. So we put a nice little wooden rail up there and we hang a cream curtain there, a nice double lined one, so it matches me hallway. But yeah, we put one up against that, and that stops a lot of the draft. And it's easy because it's on curtain rail. We just slide it if we need to open the door, if somebody knocks it or anything like that. So it's nice and easy. But that saves on a lot of draft. It keeps a lot of it out. So that's really a good idea. And of course, the pole's up all the time. I don't keep the curtain up all the time, although I suppose I could, because I'd just leave it sort of across. But I'd wash it and take it down and put it back up in winter when we need it then. So if we need it, if it's really cold. I'm not sure if we used it last year, to be honest, because it was quite mild. I'm sure it was. But yeah, that's something we do. It's not so bad with this back door. It's more sealed. These are like PVC doors and they've got all the sealing around them. But our front door's an older one, a wooden one. So we do get a lot of draft through that. Another thing's like if you've got doors between rooms or even your outside doors, the draft excluders you can get, and we've got some of them that you just put against the door. Got one on against the front door at the moment, although the curtain's not there. The draft excluder's been there, and they're quite good for stopping your drafts under door if you get a lot of draft come through. I mean, if you've got carpeting, thick carpeting, you tend not to get it, but if you've got the lino and the wooden floor and that kind of thing, it can be a bit cool and you can feel a bit of a draft. So that's always a good idea to put draft excluders, things like that, around your doors. So yeah. What else have we got on my list that we do that saves time? Actually, there is one. We're coming up to Sean's birthday. I was saying we're coming up to Sean's birthday. Now, things like, your gift bags and things like that, because I was actually doing it the other day and looking for a big pile of bags. I save all the gift bags that we get given. Always save them. And sometimes people give them me back, like my lads, go away, fly. The lads, my sons who live in the same house as me, if I'd given them a present gift bag, they'd say, do you want your bag back, Mum? You can use it again. So even they're mindful that, these things can be used again because they don't like throwing things away. So gift bags are a good thing. Birthdays, Christmas, any gift bags, that we always save them and reuse them. And even wrapping paper. If you can get some wrapping paper and it comes off neat and old, especially if they've been wrapped in the sheets of wrapping paper and it comes off whole, I've often folded it up and reused it. And I certainly don't mind if I get gifts in reused paper and reused bags, because it saves all the rubbish in landfill and everything. And it's a good idea, because why use them just once? And some of them, especially the bags, can be expensive. So it's a good idea, and it saves money on going out and buying more. So that's something that I actually have been putting into practice this week, and been looking for a bag for Sean that's the right size. That's the thing though, keeping them that are the right size. I seem to find, because I keep all mine in one big bag, and I tend to find that they're sort of, a lot of them are little ones, like you could put a DVD or CD, Blu-ray and that kind of thing, and they're sort of that size, and I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to do with all of them? Unless I wrap a gift voucher and put it in. But they're quite small, because people don't really have CDs so much now. Everything's sort of, they download it, don't they? So yeah, I've got loads of little bags like that, and I'm thinking, I don't know whether I'll ever use them, because I sort of like the well, you can't say where my hands are, but sort of the average size bags, the medium-ish bags. Sometimes I like the big ones, because like Christmas time with the little toddlers, when you go to B&M, you buy the toys, and even then a bargain. I only buy them if they're on 2 for £20, and if I can catch a week where it's 3 for £20, all the better, because I can put some up for the birthday as well. That's another thing to be watching for. But yeah, when I get them, they need bigger bags, so then I'm having to find big bags, and I do find maybe they're the only ones I have to buy is the bigger ones, and then it's only usually for 2 of them anyway. So yeah, the rest of them I recycle. So it's a good way of doing it, to recycle it and recycle paper if you can. I mean, many a time I have done, but a lot of paper's on rolls these days. But if a piece comes off nice and you can use it again, why throw it away? Why do that? It's a waste, and it saves you money. I just fold them and put them away in a box. So yeah, I just thought I'd come on and just give you some tips. You probably already know them, but things we put into practice for saving money, things that we budget with. People call it frugal, but a lot of those things I've been doing all my life. We did as normal when we were young. When I was a child, our parents, it was just a normal way of living. Everybody seemed to do things like that. But we're in a bit of a throwaway society now, and people don't seem to bother. They buy anything, or, they don't watch the pennies like used to. But recently people are starting to think, everything's going up, I'm going to have to be a bit more careful. So now all these budgeting ideas sort of will be coming into play a bit for more people. But yeah, it's just, especially it becomes a way of life when you've always been doing it. It becomes a way of life, and you don't think about it till, like I was saying, I was writing lists down and about things, and suddenly it started dawning on me all these sort of budgeting ideas. Frugal, people say, but I don't call it frugal so much. It's budgeting, isn't it? It's getting by and budgeting and getting more for your money, and without having your life disrupted too much. But yeah, it's just a way of life. So that's that for today. Now I will be back tomorrow, because I know I'm going shopping tomorrow, and I probably will be in 2 shops tomorrow, Aldi, and I've got a little bit to get in Tesco. So I will have an Aldi haul with a little bit Tesco tagged on. I'm not sure what yet, because it depends what I can get in Aldi and what I need to get into Tesco. But yeah, it'll vary. I am going to go on the Tesco app and have a look at a few prices on there as well, and so I can budget. I've got a list, and I need to budget it. I need to tweak a few things as well to make it fit the amount of money I've got. So yeah, it's all about budgeting and getting everything and carrying on as normal, isn't it? Oh dear, the wind's blowing something there. Some bucket at the window. So yeah, so that'll be tomorrow. So thank you for watching today, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow. So until I do, take care, everybody. Bye.